Hi all, so welcome to the today's tutorial. So today we will make some progress and we will create our character. So in the previous tutorial we have drawn the all the folders hierarchy and we have done some color coding and we haven't saved our map, so we will do it today. I will take the basic and create, we'll save that inside the zombie killer, and we will have a folder called maps. We'll name it as default map, default zombie map. You can see I usually keep it yellow, so you can do that too. This is for the maps. Perfect. So we haven't created our character yet, and for our character, like in usual cases, like when we talk about the horror games, they are always in first person. So we will do the same. Our character will be in first person. So to have those assets, what I will do, I will import the first person game pack. So just click add and go to the add feature or content. Here we can click on the first person. Make sure that you are in the blueprint mode because we just want the assets, nothing else. Add to projects. What it will do, it will add those files in the first person. So you can see we do have everything here. I don't want anything in the level prototyping side, so I will just delete that folder. Just force delete it. When we talk about weapon, it has everything. It has sound, materials, message, and textures, which is perfect for us. I will shift that to our asset folder which we have created in our previous tutorial. If I can locate that in the zombie killer in assets, I will shift that in static mesh, SK meshes will move. If we will check, it's empty, and right click and always try to click this option, click up redirect, so it will it will delete all the pending files and it will be deleted. First person arm, it is about the character. You can see the skeleton and the skeleton meshes, textures, material, it's all there with the animation. So what I will do, I will shift that to in our asset folder, in SK meshes, move, and here comes our blueprint, input and maps. Uh, we don't want blueprint and maps, so I will just delete it. Nope, I don't want that too. Just force delete it. And for the input side, I do want that because we will use that input, so I will just move that folder to to core, and we will delete that folder too. So we have everything ready. As soon as you will go to the asset folder in the SK meshes, you have zombie, you have weapon, you have first person arms, which we will have to include. This is perfect. Now we can go forth and create the class for ourselves. So at the left hand side you can see like we don't any C++ folder visible. So what you can do, just click on tools, new C++ class, and here we want to have a character. I always try to have the hierarchy. So under the core, I will have characters and we'll name it as M character base. Character base. Create class. It will open a default IDE for you, which you can edit. Give it a second or so. It's up, and until have default bug in the CPP, it always include the header file with all the folders name. You have to delete it, or else it will give you that give you one error. So our class, the character class is ready. So by default, as you can see, because our parent, when we are, when we are clicking right and creating this character, we have defined, okay, the parent of this M character class should be a character. So if we will press Alto, you can see it is saying, okay, because we have already covered this in inheritance class, it is saying, okay, make a child of this class. So we have make a child of a actor class, which is a m character base. A is the suffix for prefix for actor, so a will automatically be there, and we have given the name m character base. So this is perfect. Go back to our Unreal code, which is this one. If we will compile it, this is perfect. So in zombie killer in core, I will again have the same hierarchy characters. Right click blueprint class. Now we will select our main class which we have created in the C++ variant. So m character, m character base. So you can see the whole hierarchy here. Like pawn is the child of actor, character is the child of pawn. We have created m character base class, and we have provided, okay, we want parent to be the character. So now I am doing it again. I am creating one more child of m character base. So the only difference is m character base is in the C++, and we are creating the blueprint variant of it. So bp underscore character, bp underscore m character base. Click save, open it. You can see we haven't created capsule component, mesh, arrow component, but it is already there because it is a part of character class. So we don't need to code that because it is already there. So this is the child, so we can edit it, right? So our character class is ready. Now in our character class, we do want to use that skeleton mesh which we have included today, so we will do it. And next thing is we want one camera too, which will act as a head of this character. So let's do that first. So in our m character base, in public section, we want a u camera component. So u camera component, and as soon as I will press enter, because I'm using Rida, it is quite advanced IDE which automatically adds header files for us. So it has already included. As soon as I press tab camera component, this is the header file which you have to add if you are using Visual Studio. So it's a pointer, and we'll name it as camera component. And before that camera component, the thing is I do want to access this variable inside the blueprint too. So what we have to do, we have to specify the u property. I am providing a flag, okay. First I do want to have its access in the blueprint. So blueprint read only, because I do want to read only. I don't want to write anything in the camera component. Next thing is edit anywhere. Edit anywhere means, so by default if you will click, you can see at the right you have these details panel, but for the arrow component you don't have anything, right? It's because for the mesh, in the character component, if you will check it, in the u property, edit anywhere property will be there. So we have provided edit anywhere property for camera component, so those details panel will be there for camera component too. So this is why we usually add edit anywhere. And blueprint read only is self-explanatory. Like in the blueprint you can read this camera component. Now we have this component, but we haven't created yet, we haven't initialized it yet. So what we will do, in the constructor class, so this is our constructor class, we will initialize it. So how we will do that? So camera component is equals to default, sorry, create default subobject view camera component, and here we have to provide the text. So here what we are doing, we are telling, okay, we want to create the default subobject of class view camera component. We are specifying its name, and by default we already have an hierarchy here. So in that hierarchy, we have to place, okay, where do you want to place that camera? I want to place that camera under this capsule component. So what I will do, uh, camera component dot setup attachment. Here I will say, okay, this is where I do want to attach it. I do want to attach it in the capsule component. So get capsule component. It will give me the capsule component, but by default it is giving me that error because I don't have its class information. So I'm pressing this and it is asking me to include this definition new capsule component. So it added this capsule component. As soon as I will add it will remove that error for me. So it will attach the camera to my capsule component. Okay. Next thing is we haven't specified, okay, at what location, because by default what it will do, it will get the exact location at which the capsule component is there. So I do want to have some offset on the z value. So what I will do, camera component dot set relative location, and it do want to have the f vector, which is the location xyz. So f vector 0 comma 0 comma I do want to have the 60 unit above from the ground, or from the point which from where I am attaching it. So this is 60. Next thing is I do want to move my camera as I am moving my mouse. So for that we have an option called pawn control. Use pawn control rotation. So we will mark it to true. So let's try this code first if it is working or not. So what I will do, I will go to the map again and I will compile it. So if I will open that character again, you can see we do have a camera component now, and it is at location 0 comma 0 comma 60, which we have specified. So this is perfect. So this is how you usually add component. Like you can also add the arrow component like we did with the camera component. So you can try that too. Next task, like one of the option is like we have to add that body which we will use in the character. But I do want to move that body with the camera. So if I will use that body here in the default mesh, it will be an issue because when I will move the camera here and there, it will be independent to the camera by default. So for that what I will do, I will create one more skeleton component like we have it here. I won't use it though. I will have one more skeleton mesh component and will make it under this camera component. So I will encourage you to do the same on your own because the same things will be there which we have done here. Instead of u camera component, we will have the u static u skeleton mesh component. That's it. It is the only difference which we have to do. And instead of the capsule hierarchy, we have to use the camera component. Okay, after you have tried, I am assuming you have tried. So what we'll do, we will create you a skeleton mesh component. Skeletal mesh component, and here I will name it as hand mesh skc. sk means skeleton mesh component, skc underscore hands or body you can say. So all good, press alt O. We will initialize it in the same way. So here we have name skc body. Instead of view camera component will be use skeleton mesh component, and for the name I will use the same. I do want to have some relative location which I will do it in a minute. So set for the attachment, I do want to attach it to our camera component. Perfect. So for the relative location, I want it somewhat ahead, so want x in front, and for the z value actually I do want to have an offset of 31 minus 30 or 31, because by default it is up in the direction you can see visually just in a second. So just press save, go to the Unreal again, compile. Okay, perfect. Check if okay, this is perfect. Check. Okay, now we have SKC body. As you can see, the default location which we have provided, it is 10 0 and minus 30. This is what do we want. Okay, next thing is we do want to have a skeleton mesh asset, which is right now it is not there. So we have to do that. One of the option is like what you can do. You can just go to the content, zombie killer assets, skeleton mesh. Go to that first arm, character mesh. Here it is. You can specify like this. Minus 91. Okay, minus 91 minus 60. Okay, it will be minus 150. So minus 150. Next thing is like we do want to have the rotation, exact rotation, because by default see it's in the x axis, it's in the x direction, but when we are talking about our hand, its position is incorrect actually. You can see like x is the front direction in Unreal, but he's pointing to the y direction. We have to rotate it in z at minus 90. So what we will do in the body, I will say skc body dot rotation, relative rotation, and it usually takes f rotator. F rotator is like, okay, you do want to have rotation from x axis, y axis, and z axis. So pitch is like yaw is in the direction of z, the roll is x, and pitch is y. So I do want to have pitch 0. I do want yaw, which is minus 90, and roll is 0. Okay, second thing is like, okay, so now we have defined 10. I do want to have 0 and minus 10 maybe, or 10. Okay, I will keep it 0, and we will see how it is looking. Maybe I will go for minus 10 or minus 5 somewhat. So what we can do, we can do that correction here, minus 5. For the rotation we have set, and this seems perfect. And okay, the default thing which we have set, I don't want to use blueprint anywhere. So what we will do, we will set this skeleton in constructor only. So what we will do, we will use a function. So first we will define a value in public. So we will define it like u skeleton mesh mesh, and we do want to point a smsk underscore body. So the difference between sksk and sk is like this is skeleton mesh, so this is the raw model. This is the component. So component means we will apply the skeleton mesh here. So you can see this is the whole combination is the skeleton mesh component. And if we will talk about these things, these are the skeleton meshes. So now we do have a skeleton mesh variable. Now we have to have the value, right? So before initializing them, I will have the sk body. So we'll use a function skeleton mesh. So we will use a function called static load object, and so what it says, it will load a file from the content browser and it will cast it. So let's imagine if the file is the type of use skeleton mesh, so we will cast it to use skeleton mesh. If it's a type of audio file, so we will cast it to the audio file. So we are talking about the skeleton mesh here. So what I will do, it first we will specify the class. So you skeleton mesh static class. Next thing is we do want to have the name. I will provide it null because we will pass the proper, sorry, in the u object I don't want to specify outer, so we will apply null. And next thing we have to provide the file path, proper file path. So what we will do, we will go to this file, this mesh, right click and copy reference. We'll paste that reference here. I don't think we need to have the text here. Or we do. Yes, perfect. So now we have the SK body. So as soon as the attachment is done, what I will do, I will ask, okay, SKC body, this is the setup mesh, which I will specify SKC body set static set mesh, set a skeleton mesh, and the value is SK body. But before setting that, I will specify, I will check if it is valid or not. If sk underscore body, sk body. So here I am checking if it is valid, then specify or set the skeleton mesh to sk body. So this is perfect. Let's compile it again and check if everything runs fine or not. Okay, let's go to our content, core characters, BP. Okay, so it in the code you can see we it's okay, by default it's setting perfect. So sometimes it doesn't update it, so make sure that you are clicking the default button, so it will go to the default. Just press default and it will set all the default values. Go to the viewport and you can see everything is default and we have everything in the perfect order. So I think this was it for today. You should have learned something. If you have, then make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, do comment it below and I will try my best to sort it out. Thank you and have a nice day.